Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of TOMII Healing and Wellness. The one show, maybe the only show, that shows you a way to integrate, well, a little East and West together here to end up with a healthier, happier life filled with more balance and benefit and energy and all those things. And with us, as always, we have Dr. Leiter Chen, founder of the TOMII Healing and Wellness System here in Southern California. Welcome, Dr. Chen.
Hi, good afternoon.
Today, we have somebody unusual. We're doing it via Zoom, and we're talking with Bonni Kelley. Good Irish lass here. Bonni Kelley up in the Bay Area. You're in Morgan Hill, is that right? Oh, let's turn your mic up. Make sure. How about that? You're in Morgan Hill?
Yes, we are.
And that's just what, south of San Jose or something? It's a real nice...
Yeah, it's about 20 miles south of San Jose, about 75 miles south of San Francisco.
I was there years ago. Beautiful rolling hills and whatnot there, and very affluent, upscale neighborhoods. Tell us about who you are and what you do, and then we'll talk about TOMII a little bit here. What you do something a little different than most. What do you do?
Well, I'm a massage therapist. I actually got my start with working with horses before people.
With horses, okay. Horse.
And it was actually my horse clients that got me turned on to working with people. And I went to National Holistic Institute I graduated in 2011 and then went through their advanced program in 2013. I've been practicing both for chiropractors and spas. I worked for Cordoval for about 5 years. I worked with a chiropractor about 5 years. And then I started having space that I rented in spas and started doing my own practice probably for about another 3.5 years.
Okay.
And then we opened PONO. I really wanted something where we could integrate, wellness, not just massage.
Right, exactly.
And we originally had soaking tubs, infrared saunas, and massage. And we've recently kind of made a shift, and we weren't really getting a lot of takers for the soaking, so we got rid of the tubs.
Okay.
And we're able to expand, create a room that I'm in right now for the TOMII healing. And then we also have a halo salt chamber.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about all of that, because that's the new word. The buzzword is integrated health and wellness. It's not one or the alternative. It's not Western medicine and something else. It's finding ways to integrate this into a complete package.
Absolutely.
You're up in the Bay Area. This is I'm an old hippie. That must be an easy sell up in the Marin County. Oh, you're not in Marin County, but all those kind of places up there.
It's interesting. There are definitely people that are totally open to it.
Yeah.
And then there's people that don't quite understand it. And I think my approach has always been really strong science. Is one of the reasons I went to National Holistic Institute. And then to integrate that with things like Eastern, and I was doing acupressure when I was doing my horse work, and that's kind of how I got turned into the whole Eastern medicine thing. My horses got chiropractic and acupuncture long before I did. And just, trying to see and understand the balance of the body and how we can help. I mean, we're basically an electrical being.
Right.
And that's what, Eastern medicine is based on.
There's an energy flowing through these meridians in your body that they've mapped over centuries here. But the struggle with Westerners is, I can't see it. I can't touch it. Where are these meridians? I can't cut my body up and say, there's one, like your blood vessel or your nerves or whatever. And so many still poo-poo or say, I'm not sure if I believe in this whole idea of energy. Although, for whatever reason, acupuncture, not acupressure so much, has found its way into modern care facilities. And more and more we're seeing, we're here at UCI, University of California, Irvine, and they have a new integrative medicine center funded by Susan Samueli, the wife of Henry Samueli, the billionaire founder of Broadcom Chips here. And she believes in it. We've talked to Dr. Kiki Wee, who's on staff. He teaches medicine at UCLA, and he's got an East-West integrative medical center. And even insurance companies and other people seem to accept it for pain relief. That's the one thing they've done studies and stuff, but it's an accepted practice. They're still not sure they believe what's going on underneath or why, but they've seen enough results that they accept. I'm talking about the Western medical practitioners and clinics and whatnot seem to be accepting Eastern medicine as some sort of pain relief, nausea relief. We're all used to, if you're on a boat, you hit your pressure point in your wrist or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're seeing it for more than that. This is just not, you're seeing it as part of an integrative health program. Talk about that idea of using it not just as a specific targeted, help relieve pain. However that works, I'm not sure Western science is still understood or accepted, but they accept it and they've integrated that much into it. What else are you integrating? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because just kind of take a step back, is massage in its own, if you're doing a full body massage, you are touching all those meridians.
Exactly.
And it's amazing how, and that's why you feel so blissed out and feel so much more balanced and grounded after getting a really good full body massage. We are addressing all those same meridians. And in using the Qi, you can actually see that. We're doing the TOMII Qi analyzer. I had a client that we just did a test, did a massage, did a test, and there was a change just from the massage. Amazing. And that's not without even focused work.
Exactly.
The focused work, of course, you're going to get far more.
Exactly. Because that's what, and we'll bring Dr. Chen in here, what he's done is so unique. We've all heard his story before, how he was in China, but studying Western science, and he's a sensor technology and all this stuff, and studied all these universities, and then developed chronic diabetes, severe diabetes, and went to Western style clinics in China, and they just want to give him pill after pill after pill. He says, "Got to be something." And somebody said, "Why don't you go back, look at what we've done?" And he said, "Oh, I don't believe that. I'm now a modern man here. I don't believe in traditional Chinese approach, but I'll try anything because nothing's working." Yeah. And out of that, found a way to reverse his severe diabetes, and that sent him on this 10-year quest to then see if he couldn't do what nobody had done to that point: measure the Qi, find the Qi, see this little electrical energy, see if you can sense it, and then make some sense of the changes in there, and figure out from that the blockage. Is that a good summary, Dr. Chen? Is that kind of your path here to this?
Yes, we have an innovation system, TOMII Meridian Energy Qi Analyzer system. Within the same minute, we found out all the blockage meridian and the imbalance of the Zhang and the Fu.
Can't be much. I mean, it's got to be pretty imperceptible. I mean, we know, yes, we all know there's some electricity, and you get a shock or touch. Not just static electricity, but we kind of accept that there's electrical energy in our body. We're not sure why or where, how the Chinese ascribe it to meridians, and that as long as the meridians are attached to various organs, and as long as that energy is flowing, the body can keep itself in balance and check, and it has amazing power to help heal itself. But block it. And we've all seen those blockages, the knots, it's the tension, the compression, the pinching, whatever. Pinches the nerve, pinches the blood, and I guess it pinches these meridians and blocks them from happening. So it's hard for me to accept and to understand, but what Dr. Chen's done is found the energy flowing, measure at these different meridians. How many different meridians do you check?
We have 12 meridians. 12
different meridians. So this little wand, sensory touches all this little thing. It's attached to a computer, and then the software tries to make sense of this and say, look, it's not flowing here, but it is flowing here. And you say even after one session, you can go back and do the same test and see differences.
Yeah. And it's interesting because when you do acupressure, you can perceive these with touch once you kind of get honed in, especially if it's excess, just because literally it'll be zappy. You can feel that. And in working with the horses, they would respond to it.
I responded. Full disclosure, I came in a skeptic, and I've been going to see Dr. Chen. And just the other night we were there, and he just started going, he says, "I'll bet it hurts here." And I go, "Ow, how did you know it hurts?" I'd never touched myself behind my calf or something here.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was, but he, like you're saying, you can feel, if you've done this a while, you can actually feel, I guess, can you feel the energy? I mean, do you feel something? You feel like a little zap?
Especially when it's excess. And sometimes points will feel very hollow when they're in low energy too. So it is perceivable if you know what you're looking for and where you're looking for it. But the other thing I want to add is it's kind of, I always like to use, two things. I like to use the example of we are an electrical being, and the meridians are kind of like the wires connecting.
Wiring, right.
And if you've got a frayed wire, or if you have a kinked wire, that is going to affect not only what the brain perceives, but just how everything is flowing. And when you have folks like Dr. Chen, where Western medicine is not working, you get pretty willing to try anything. And so often it takes that before somebody is a little more open to some of these integrative medicines.
I think that's the key. We've talked before about this. I'm a full believer in Western medicine. If I've got a broken knee or I need a hip replaced or a heart valve fixed or something, miraculous, modern medicine and machines and all the other stuff that they can do. But give me something simple like a constant headache, constant upset stomach, a constant pain that won't go away. I can't sleep. But things like fibromyalgia, diabetes, cholesterol, these chronic conditions, persistent things that don't go away, all they've really got is a pill to kind of cover it up or mask it. It doesn't cure it, doesn't fix it or stop it. Maybe it reduce your cholesterol a little bit because it tries to get rid of some of the stuff here, but it's not it's a mask rather than trying to get to the underlying cause of it. And that's what Eastern medicine is much more into, the underlying balance, the underlying cause of these conditions.
Yep.
Right, Dr. Chen? Is that a proper way of looking at Eastern approach?
The meridian energy pathway connected with your organ, with your hand and leg. So anything happen inside your liver, your kidney, will show the blockage on your hand and leg. So we work on the hand and leg, relieve the blockage. We will help your inside. We'll get your health.
And that's always hard for people to wrap their head around. So you're saying that there's something wrong with my digestive system or my heart meridian or lung meridian. Why are you touching my fingers and my wrist and my back?
That's where
or
it's
whatever?
going.
That's where it's going. Yeah, that's where the wire is going.
That's that wire.
That's that wire. Well, without TOMII, I mean, TOMII is based on traditional Chinese healing. The difference is this sensor, this simple sensor, and the sophisticated software he's come up to measure it, monitor it, and use that as a quick guide. Before that, when you did massage and people said, I'm fatigued, I'm aching, were you just, I won't say guessing, but you're kind of feeling around to try and figure it out? Is it harder to figure out without a scientific instrument?
It's definitely harder to figure out, but I have, gone back to kind of the acupressure training and that sort of thing. And it's kind of the same thing, except for this is just way more clear and more specific.
Right.
Because when you're working with, kind of trying to figure it out and elimination of this and that, it's just way more effective and you can get right down to it. And this is what it is.
Just like when you go to a chiropractor, they take a full body scan and they'll say, okay, here, I can see this is out of whack. This is where we've got, rather than what happens in too many non-traditional practices, you say, you tell them where it hurts and they start working there. Typical massage. They say, okay, my back hurts. I was there last night. Somebody walked in to Dr. Chen and she said, I saw your sign. I've just got, my neck hurts all the time. He doesn't go into any, he said, fine, sit down. He started telling her all this. And pretty soon she's getting a full treatment and all this stuff. She said, I just wanted my neck massage. And he's like, well,
but how's your neck feel?
Exactly.
That's the next question. And they're like, oh, it feels better.
Yeah. And I always say Dr. Chen wants to go into big detail, and I know you got charts behind him. He's got all these charts about how the meridian flows and what it affects and everything. I said, I'm not sure everybody wants to know. When my light goes out in my house, I just want somebody to fix the light. I want to know the switch goes on and the light goes on. You don't have to draw me a diagram of the electrical outlets in my house and how it's flowing and where. Just fix the darn thing so when I flick the switch, the power goes on. Is that, or do you find people really want to know about all the underlying science?
It's interesting. I've always been one to teach. Part of our certification is health educator. Mm-hmm. And so I've always liked to explain things to people. And I always tell them, it's like, if you don't want to know and you don't want me to keep talking, stop talking, just let me know. And they're like, oh no. I mean, most people, by the time they come to massage, because they're going to be probably a little bit more open-minded, mm-hmm. They like to know because it makes them, help them make better decisions in their own health.
Well, maybe, and I'm not trying to be hard on Dr. Chen. I know English is still his second language, maybe his third language here. And so I watch him sometimes try and explain it so much easier. He's like, just here, come here, boom, 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 here, let's go. And then they go, oh, and there's something about when you have a test done, whether it's a scan or a chi analyzer, and it reads out something and shows you charts. does that create credibility? Does that create believability? Do people just
Absolutely.
go, wow, the machine says it's so, it must be so here, you know?
But also, most of the time, it's explaining why they're feeling why they're feeling. Because you'll go through, you've got the basic charts that he shows most of the time, but there's also the ones that say with this particular reduced energy, these are the symptoms you're going to have.
Right.
And it's really fascinating because they'll start reading that, and I always print it out for them. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, okay, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, because maybe they came in for this and all of a sudden, well, yeah, I do feel fatigued, or I do feel anxious, mm-hmm. or I do feel something else here. I didn't know.
This is just the loudest screamer.
Yeah, really. That's probably a good way to put it.
It's a greasy wheel.
That's the greasy wheel that's squeaking for something. Well, it clearly, when I went in and he started identifying places that hurt, I said, that can't be good. I didn't know it hurt there, and that can't be good. It's got to be, your body's trying to tell you something. It's inflamed, it's pinched, it's contracted, it's something there. And if nothing else, the massage relieves the tension and the nerves and the pinch and everything else, and then allows this energy, which few can measure, but Dr. Chen's found a way to start flowing again. What other things do you use in your practice? So massage and this kind of go hand in hand.
I do a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, tell us about some of these other wild things you do.
I use the Avasia microcurrent.
Avasia, I never even heard of that. What is it?
Avasia microcurrent. It's rated at the FDA as a TENS unit, but it's got TENS and STEM, and it's got 36 different settings, including the meridian settings, which is I'm going to start working with trying to do this and use the Avasia to balance things out. I have a guinea pig that's willing to do that for me.
Okay.
And because each meridian has its own megahertz. Mm-hmm. Each function in the body has its own megahertz. Some of that was found by Dr. Reif in the 30s. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole nother, you could talk another hour on that stuff. But
because if it's energy, then it creates a vibration, it creates an actual sound, yep. Or it'll appear at a certain...
And in balance, it should be at a certain megahertz.
Right. What do you think about, have you ever tried, we had somebody in, not on this show, but another show, and I'm just thinking freely here, and she does sound therapy. And she's mm-hmm. a big believer on Indian, and they this bowl and they ring it somehow, and it seems wild, but it's this humming vibration, and it's like a tuning fork. Yeah,
it's sound waves.
Right.
Those are megahertz too.
Right.
Plants have, waves. I mean, everything living has got energy.
There's a strange podcast out there. I'm going way down a weird rabbit hole here, but I love watching strange podcasts and listening to them. And this lady goes around the world, and she puts a microphone. It's like a submersible microphone or whatever here, a little kind you just put on something to pick up the vibration of something, and it makes a sound, on bridges. And every bridge has a different sound signature. Yep. Some of them are tuned higher, some of them are tuned lower, some of them...
What are they made of? What are they attached to? What are they over?
Exactly.
All of that affects, and just like us, what do we eat? How active are we? What environment are we? What toxins are we exposed to? Our environment makes a big difference, and then just our general makeup.
Right. Well, she's just chronicling the sounds, and then she wonders out loud, could the sound be used to decide if the bridge is healthy, or is that a good creaking or a bad creaking? Is it, is this a sound? What's that sound telling you? That's really what Dr. Chen, that's kind of what you did. What's the sound telling you? What's the energy telling you, right, Dr. Chen?
Yes, different meridians have different impact of their healthy.
Yeah, right.
Like your kidney meridian connection with your kidney organ, and if you have a low back pain or night urination or something special like
night urination, that doesn't sound good here.
You cannot hear, so it's all related to the...
And that's what drives people crazy. You just listed 20 conditions quickly. Night urination, peeing in your bed, I can't hear well, my ear seems plugged, and you go to the doctor and they go, I don't know what you want me to do about that. Mm-hmm. If it's bad, we'll go in and operate. We'll see if we can reconnect something and figure out if there's a blockage.
There's nothing that's wrong.
But yeah, but most of the time they just kind of look at you and go, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way it is. You're getting older or something here. That's the chronic, persistent stuff that drives people crazy and eventually leads them to I'll try anything, as you said, to see how it works. And these are things that, again, there aren't scientific studies to back most of this stuff, but I don't know why Chinese medicine and Western medicine can't find a way to work together here, and that's what they're doing in these integrative centers.
Well, in China, they do have hospitals where one side's Western, one side's Eastern, but
Yeah.
they have the Eastern folks going over and doing acupuncture anesthesia while somebody's having open heart surgery.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
wow.
they do. We're getting there, but we got a long way to go.
Long way to go. All right. Any other things you want to rattle off? What you tried infrared therapies and other things like that?
Well, we have infrared saunas, and we recently, the Halo has a red light, so red light therapy, which is good for skin and that sort of thing. The Halo is, of course, good for skin and lungs, very purifying. You're basically in a box that's got very fine salt swirling around in it. You know, we do lymphatic drainage. We've kind of found a niche for working with a lot of post-surgery people and pain people. We do get people that come in for relaxation, but that's not our meat and potatoes. We really are here for people that want some solutions.
Because that's really what massage and all these other alternatives have found themselves. You're at a resort in Hawaii, and you're going to get a massage, and you're going to get a lymphatic drainage. You're going to try all these things, and for a while you feel, you say, oh, that was nice. And then you feel pampered, or you feel released, or you feel relieved, or whatever. And then you go home, and life takes over again here, and you're right back to where you're at. You seem to have a Hawaiian connection here. Explain the name PONO again here.
PONO Wellness. PONO means harmony, balance, and well-being, but it also, I love to kind of use it kind of in a righteous version of the golden rule on steroids. So ethical, fair, balance, be kind to each other, be kind to yourself. It's all about balance in all things.
And you had, they don't call them shamans, but what traditional Hawaiian culture, what do they call the people?
Kahuna, Kumus are our trainers. They're training people. And he came in and did a blessing for our building.
And then he stopped and said, all right, I got to tell you, this is serious stuff. Don't just...
he sat me in the office for 20 minutes to make sure I understood them. Because it's a very powerful word, but it's what I really wanted to establish here. And what I wanted people to find is that harmony, balance, and well-being.
Why do so many traditional cultures, you say Hawaiian, certainly Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Indian, Ayurvedic, all have this idea that the body has to be in balance somehow here?
Well, what are we doing with the TOMII? You know, it's finding balance.
Exactly.
Things don't work well when they're not in balance.
But
nothing does.
And that's maybe the downfall of Western medicine. It's so highly focused, it's so highly siloed.
Fix it.
You fix it. Get that knee up. Boom, done. But what's causing that? Chiropractors talk about this. The underlying, your gait is wrong, your bones are wrong, so you're going to have a knee problem all the time, just the way you're walking.
Yeah.
Or osteopaths or whatever. There are people.
And imbalance of muscles. You know, I'm working on a client she's a horseback rider, and she sits at a desk all day long. And so she's one extreme or the other. And, you know, her SI joint was all jammed. Well, this whole neck opposing, because the two pulls this. So now this is having to work twice as hard to get her balanced out. And you add movement in riding a horse, even more so.
There you go. Well, I think time has arrived. I think aging baby boomers like me are
going down fighting.
We're going down fighting. That's it. We're not going to be like our parents, just drugged. My late mother, God bless her soul, by the end, she had Parkinson's, she had all these things, and she was on 50 pills, and she looked like a zombie. And she was in constant pain, and she was in constant agony and fear, and it was a miserable thing to watch. And we're all like, I'm going down a different path here. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to open my mind, and I'm not throwing away the necessary. Yeah, you got to replace my knee because I've done something wrong for a long time. Great, but tell me what I've been doing wrong. Let's see if we can correct that.
Yeah, and the aftercare to support that knee healing correctly, so you don't do the same thing to it.
Yes, exactly. All right, how do people find you? Spell it again. It's
PONO, PONO Wellness Spa.
Okay.
And if you just put in Morgan Hill, and we're in downtown Morgan Hill.
Okay. And look that up and find out more information about something we just touched on. I'm gathering there's 2 or 3 or 23 other things you do. You add to, you're trying all these different things here.
We're adding all the time.
How did you find Dr. Chen? How did you find this program here?
AMTA, our California conference.
Yeah,
American.
He was there.
We meet in 2023 in the Santa Ana American Massage Therapy
There you
Association
go. He had a booth and a
conference.
demonstration there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's done national and everything else now. And for any of us that really have done acupressure and have tried to incorporate the Eastern work, this is just like the next level.
Yeah, because it adds a certain scientific validity to it. It adds a tool that certainly makes it easier, more predictable to find what you're doing rather than the traditional approach. Look at your eyes or your tongue or whatever, and kind of observational stuff here.
Well, some of it is
TOMII healing system, empower massage therapists that do extraordinary work. Is a massage therapy breakthrough innovation.
Well, I always say that you guys make the impossible possible. Everybody else told me it ain't possible to get this fixed. Just deal with it. It's a problem. It's been there for years, and you just learn to live with it. And bit by bit, if you put the body back in its proper balance, it's amazing what the body can do to help or heal itself here.
Yeah, and kind of help keep it there.
Keep it there. That's the key. Right,
That's important.
Exactly. All right. Well, I hope everybody keep coming back here because we keep exploring all these different ideas and how they're being integrated together in different practices and wellness centers and massage and naturopaths and osteopaths and all these people who are trying to combine different approaches into one cohesive, what would we call it, overall health system, a holistic, as they used to say, whole body approach. Thank you for joining us again here from PONO. Is it PONO? PONO.
PONO.
PONO. All right. Thanks so much. Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in each and every time. To tune in to the different frequencies. Find out what else is out there and available. If you're dealing with chronic conditions or persistent pains or problems, might be some other answers and some other methodologies here. That's what we're going to explore in the TOMII Healing and Wellness Show.